Today is the day for you claw players. I'm gonna be showing all of you claw players the absolute best controller settings and actually the best controller binds that you can be using right now. So to actually find those settings, I'm gonna do something similar that I did to find the best settings for no claw, no paddles players like a month ago. And basically that strategy is me finding the 5 absolute best claw players on Fortnite, and then I go and find all their settings and binds, try all their settings and binds, and that actually ends up giving a really good idea of what the actual best settings are. To actually find the top 5 best claw players, I actually just went by their power rankings, which is basically how well they do in competitive. And I definitely think you'll recognize these names because the first person is Mero with 190,000 power ranking points. Mero plays on NA East. He has $310,000 in online Fortnite earnings. The second player is Illest, who has 179,000 power ranking points. Illest has a total of $95,000 earned. Then we have Ree at 177,000 points. Ree is the only West player on this list, and he has about $165,000 earned just from online tournaments in Fortnite. Then in 4th place comes Day with 174,000 PR points. Day has $258,000 earned in online tournaments. And those 4 guys mainly only play controller on PC. Out of all those hundreds of thousands of dollars in earnings, only a few thousand for each of them was actually made on a console. But that changes with our 5th player, who is TK. TK has 63,000 PR points on console, and then on PC he has 114,000. He has a total of $73,000 in online earnings, but the large majority of his earnings actually come from console. So let's go take a look at the settings and binds of those 5 players. And here we go, just in the order that I listed them: Mero, Illest, Reed, Day, TK. So let's first look at their controllers and the type of claw that they play. Mero plays on a PS4 controller and he plays double claw. Illest plays on an Xbox One controller and he plays right claw. Reed plays on a Scuff Infinity 4 PS and he plays right claw. Day plays on a PS4 controller and he plays right claw. And then TK plays on a PS5 controller and he plays double claw. So Mero and TK double claw, the rest on right claw. Now for their settings, slide hold time doesn't really matter. It all really boils down to preference. So we'll note that right now Ree is the only one of these players that plays on exponential. So when you see a 1.5 build sense, that's on exponential. It's not on linear. For linear, we're anywhere between 1.9 and 2.3. Edit sense is between 1.9 and 2.2 on linear. Every single one of these linear claw players actually uses a 43 look sense for both horizontal and vertical. Ree is the only outlier at 50 and 60 on exponential. None of these players use any sort of boost on their look sense. For ADS sense, we have Mero up here at 810, Illest at a 6.6, Ree on exponential at 17.17, and then both Day and TK at 9. Then Mero does use a 1% boost on his ADS sense. No one uses a RAM boost time, no one uses a look damping time, and like I said, for input curve, only Ree is actually on exponential. Dead zones, we have anywhere from a 6 to a 12. Ree is on a 6 on his Scuff controller. Mero and Day are right around 10 dead zones on their PS4 controllers. TK's at a 10.7 on his PS5 controller, and Illest is on a 12.8 on his Xbox One controller. And then I included the date of all these settings because there's always people that tell me that I got the settings wrong, but I went through and looked at literally so many things, and these are the most recent settings I could find of each of these players. So even though a lot of these numbers are really similar, I still haven't shown what I believe to be the absolute best claw settings. I'll show you guys those right after we look at the best binds. So it looks like the only person that doesn't use an X jump is Day, who uses an R3 jump. For edit, we have Mero and Ree on touchpad, and then Illest, Day, and TK all on circle edit. For pickaxe, we got Mero, Illest, and Ree all with triangle. Day's on right D-pad, TK's on left D-pad. Every player reloads with square. Almost every player crouches with R3 except for Day. So Day just switched around his jump and crouch. He crouches with X and jumps with R3. So far, there's not really too many differences in the binds between the double claw players and the right hand claw players. For switch mode, we have Day and Illest on L3, Reed's on circle, and then Day and TK are on triangle. For reset, we got Mero on L1, Illest and Ree on R3, Day on R1, and then TK on R3 as well. To confirm, Mero is the only one that uses R2 and the rest of them use circle, which is actually pretty interesting because Illest, Day, and TK all both edit and confirm with circle. Then Mero is also the only one that uses an R1 select instead of an R2 select. And every single one of these guys uses double edit binds. No one uses confirm edit on release. So for the best binds for you claw players, there's not really a definitive answer. If we just went by the majority, you'd have an X jump, circle edit, triangle pickaxe, square reload, R3 crouch, an L3 switch mode, an R3 reset, a circle confirm. Use select with R2 and you wouldn't have confirm edit on release on. And that honestly doesn't matter whether you play double claw or right claw. Those binds actually apply for both of those. It also doesn't seem like there's a best controller for claw either. These are not only the top 5 claw players, but they're actually the top 5 controller players. There's no controller player in the top 5 that doesn't play claw. So 4 out of 5 of these guys use a different controller and they're in the top 5 controller players, so that obviously doesn't matter too much. So now for the absolute best claw settings, and all I ask of you if you're enjoying the video up to this point is to drop a simple like on it, and if you haven't done it already, then subscribe to the channel. Also, you can use code Carter2K in the Fortnite item shop if you want. Okay, so here we go. Here are the best controller claw settings. 0.15 slide hold time, for a 2.0 build and edit multiplier. For a look, since we're obviously on a 43% for both horizontal and vertical, I mean 4 out of the 5 claw players were on a 43% look sense, so you kind of can't change that. And there's no boost on the look sense. For ADS sense, 8% for both horizontal and vertical with no boost. Then I don't have anything on look dampening time. I am on linear for these settings. No disrespect to Reap, but obviously 4 of the 5 players are on linear. Then the best dead zones will obviously vary, but I'm on a PS4 controller, so I'm going to be using 1010. And if you were wondering about the gyro settings, I don't recommend using these at all, really. You can if you want to and you're messing around, but overall gyro is just going to throw you off more than it's going to help you. So if your intent is just on getting better, I definitely wouldn't recommend using that. And the thing about these settings is that they're pretty good for actually everybody. Like, while they are specifically designed for claw players, I'm playing pals right now and they're definitely not bad settings. Oh, let's go, that piece control. Like I said, they're good settings for everybody. I'm actually loving these settings. I guess the 5 best controller players in the world know their settings. Oh, I almost messed that up. Dude, I am like kind of nuts right now. Casual little 10-0. Hopefully these settings helped, and I hope to catch you in a future video.